Okay, so it's 7:05. Brian's not on yet, so why don't we get started? I'll call the meeting to order at actually 7:04. And Laura, as you said, there's nobody who signed up for public comment tonight. We do not have any correspondence. So we will move into the acceptance of minutes. Does anybody have any additions, deletions, or corrections to last month's monthly minutes? No, okay. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Mike, second. Ed? Okay. All in favor, just give a hands up of approving. Okay. So moved. Okay, moving on to old business. First of all, I don't think we have very much to cover tonight, so this should be a fairly quick meeting unless we have something that comes up with the superintendent here. But as far as old business, does anybody have anything to bring up under old business?
I was just wondering about, when Dan Chilpick was here at last month's meeting, we talked about coming up with some language for the public protests or whatever gathering. Have we done anything with that?
No, not to date.
Okay.
I believe when he mentioned that, we kind of discussed that. He said to come up with language, but we basically already have the language. The whole problem was the patient, or not the patient, the
The applicant.
didn't want to adhere to what our proper language was. Is that correct, Dee?
Yes, I thought though that the commission had agreed to at least acknowledging in some way, manner, or form that public protest, yada yada yada, would be, are embraced on our grounds, etc. But we need to, follow the rules accordingly. So it was more or less an acknowledgement that it could happen, and that underscoring that there were rules that needed to be followed in order to have that type of an activity within the park system. If you'd like, I'm sure I can draft something for your approval for the next the next meeting.
Yeah, I think just some clarification would be wise, and I think that's what Attorney Chilpick had suggested. I thought maybe he was going to come up with some language, but he could certainly vet whatever you come up with. Or
Yeah, I mean, if that makes it a little bit easier, I'll just try to craft something that stays within the spirit of what we had talked about, pointing back at the rules and regulations that the commission's oversight has, all the while acknowledging public gatherings, rallies, etc., and then just try to merge them into something not too lengthy. And you guys can pick it apart or add or delete accordingly, and then we'll just add it to our policies and permit sections within Parks and Rec, and then it'll be a posted language for the general public if they need to point at something in the future.
so sounds good.
Okay.
That sounds good. Thank you, Dee. At least we'll have something in writing if this does come up again. So,
Okay.
okay. Anything else under old business? New business? Anybody have any new business?
Hey,
Bill?
Kevin, this is Bill. Just want to give the commission a heads up that I was asked to be part of a Veterans Memorial Committee. I don't know if you're all probably familiar with the Vietnam Memorial down on White Plains Road. I'm sure Dimitri is. But there's an open piece of land next to it on the right side, and committee was put together to put some ideas together for a design for a memorial for post-Vietnam era service members from Trumbull. So the Parks and Rec Commission will have to approve it eventually. I don't know much more than that. We did have one meeting. I met the other gentleman on the committee. Ray Baldwin is kind of the coordinator of it. I don't know if Vicky knows about it or I believe the town council knows about it because Mary Beth Thornton was there when we first met. So really just wanted to give you guys a heads up that at some point, probably in the spring, we'll keep you updated and have some designs for you to consider. But should be a nice memorial structure there at some point.
Great, thanks, Bill. Good to have a member of the committee on that commission there. So as you face the Vietnam Veterans Park, it's to the right, like the entrance to where the bridge is over there?
Correct. And they're putting some kind of arch. Dimitri probably knows, or somebody I'm sure knows more about this than me, but they're redoing the bridge, it looks like, and they're putting an arch over that entrance from Twin Brooks as you walk up the bridge. It's going to be a big arch. And then if you're on the street looking at the Vietnam Memorial to the right, there's like an open piece of property. And what we were told was that they're going to put some trees around the back and kind of close it off. And then in that area is where there's going to be a memorial for those who served post-Vietnam. So, Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, global war on terror type of, a type of monument or some type of structure to recognize their service. So it'll take some planning and design, and this committee that was put together, there's 5 or 6 of us. VFW is involved in American Legion, and we'll be soliciting input from Trumbull service members who have served. So it should be good. It's going to take some time, take some work, but we'll be coming back to the commission for your guidance and ultimately your approval.
Dee, have they been working with you on that to date?
Yes, I have met with Ray and Mary Beth and sort of preliminary ideas, trying to incorporate the work that we're doing on the Vietnam. It's really the services bridge. We call it the Vietnam Bridge, but it's the services bridge. It's for all the branches of service that goes from Twin Brooks to the Vietnam Memorial. So we'll be, doing some incorporation. Entry points from Twin Brooks into the bridge, bringing you across the bridge into the memorials. And it's more or less some grade work, landscape work to try to encapsulate the area, make it a little bit more separate from the resident properties to the left and to the right, to really give it a sense of enclosure, a more solemn space. So it's a work in progress, but any of the stuff that we're doing right now that can sort of dovetail into these concepts, the timing couldn't be better. The sidewalk work that was going to be done anyway, tweaking it so that the alignment's a little bit better for the future memorial site. It's easy at this point, and so it's all being rolled around in the work that's already in the works. And then as we move for more formalized design work and a future memorial up on the White Plains roadside, as Bill said, we'll be all getting together. We really actually haven't had an opportunity to all get together. We're really in the nation state of all of this, but we clearly think that it's easily something that we can incorporate with what we're doing already, only to make the whole site better.
Okay, thank you. Dee, can you give us an update on the sign that was damaged at the Vietnam?
Yeah, I finally found who made it, and originally, so that it would be identical. We've submitted all of the insurance paperwork, and we'll eventually get the reimbursement. The order will be placed if it hasn't already. It goes through the town process, And when we get the reimbursement, it'll go back to the insurance accounts of the town. So we should probably have it built within the next 2 months. Our goal is to have Veterans Bridge and Vietnam Memorial all back 100% by Memorial Day 21. That's our goal and objective. And at this point, it's Swenson who made the original granite monument. Will be redoing it again from their original design. They see no reason why they can't turn this around in a couple of months. So that should work out very well.
Were they able to figure out who did the damage?
Oh yeah, yeah. Parts of the individual's vehicle remained on the site, and the camera, the off-ramp camera, actually was able to get a good enough image of the vehicle, so that Trumbull PD was able to actually find the person and was charged, and they will ultimately be financially responsible for the restitution to the site.
So would it be that person's insurance carrier that pays for the sign?
Ultimately, yes, but it's the process of trying to do a purchase through the town from an outside organization and waiting for an insurance company, which will add like another layer to it. So just to expedite the process, the town is going to make the purchase acquisition now so that we have it in time, and then when it all comes back, it will go back into that account, whenever that is.
Good. So nice that there'll be no cost to the town.
Correct.
Okay, we're still on new business. Any other new business? No new business? Okay, superintendent's report. We all got a copy of that. Dimitri did call me the week before last about the COVID testing behind the health department, and that they were going to have to drive through Unity Park. So Dee, could you just give us an update on that? I hear it went fairly well the first week.
It did. The basic concept is Griffin Hospital is making a regional testing site available at no cost to those who want to get a test. Trumbull, Monroe, Easton, in that district area in Unity Park, they picked up all of the costs for erecting of a drive-through tent. They have our National Guard members working the main line, as well as their service technicians at the health department point of testing. They've had their electricians upgrade the health department, which will remain electrical services to be able to supply the tent and their supplies. And basically what it is every Tuesday for, well, it was a total of 8 weeks. We have 7 to go. There'll be 1 tomorrow, if anybody wants to test, through Unity Park. Queues in at the main entrance by the Parkway, and everyone is queued essentially between Old Unity and New Unity, all the way down until you get to the 3-4 lot by Bayberry, where everyone takes a left, and then it weaves its way down over the main culvert, and then it branches out at the testing tent location. It worked out very well in terms of its location as a regional, as well as its capacity, the park's capacity to take well over 100 cars at any given time. That's a concern because there is sort of a tendency for any of the testing to be at a peak early in the morning. Everybody wants to get it over with, or think that's the best time to go. And in fact, later in the day is when it's much calmer. But we could easily put upwards of 150 to 200 cars in there. And that's how we worked out the lanes with the National Guard. If the capacity started to tip 100 for a single lane, we can just break it apart into 2 and get a lot of people in and out of there right now. That's obviously very important process for all of our communities. We don't know really whether or not we'll be doing a similar thing even for potentially vaccines down the line, but the site works very well for it. And first round went flawlessly, so see where tomorrow brings us, but we've got 7 to go.
Do you know how far they were backed up? Like,
They ultimately weren't. I would say that a single line got probably by Unity 2. So at one point or another, maybe you had 50 to 75 cars in a single queue, but it kept replenishing itself. I don't know. I have not actually heard the report how many cars went through the first day, but I'm sure it was well over 300 to 400. So it went well.
Wow.
Good. Nice to offer that service. Okay, anything else for the superintendent regarding his report? He did send out a report. One of the questions I have, Dee, is with the limited manpower, you mentioned you have a few people that are going to be out for a while. Is there any way to make up for that? Do they have, manpower come in and give you some assistance, or we just work short?
Well, we've worked short plus all season because we haven't been allowed to bring in seasonals because of the COVID regulations that are applied to the town workers. So yeah, it's definitely going to have an impact. We really haven't figured out how we're going to make it through the snow because DPW Highway is going to be short-staffed even in their plowing efforts, and our personnel initially goes to supplement them. So with our own reduced staffing, we'll end up having to lose more to DPW Highway. So it is going to be a challenging winter, but it's kind of been the way of things all season long. So we're looking at really running at half or below regular staffing throughout the winter. So we'll do the best we can, prioritize where necessary, make it obviously safety and health first above all else, and then fill in with whatever projects that we're capable of doing based on weather patterns and with what staffing we have, and patch it all together on the back end. That's what we always do.
Okay, anyone else? So nothing else for the superintendent? Dee, do you have anything you want to expound on?
The only other thing that I don't think I mentioned was that we did have out on the street, and I'm not sure where it stands again, for our program manager position. Human Resources was finally able to get it out, and it was really only out on the street for 2 weeks, and was not able to get it on Connecticut Recreation and Parks Association group, which we had expressly requested, because that would bring us the greatest cross sections of potential candidates almost until the first week was up. They didn't know how to do it, so Gretchen actually reached out and actually got the posting up for them. So though I have not seen any of the results, having it out for such a short period of time in what I would consider to be a limited market at this time of year around the holidays, I've requested an extension of keeping the posting open for at least another 2 weeks, potentially a month. It's not really going to change very much for us internally, what with the circumstances around what recreation is able to actually do at this time. So I think it would better serve the town to try to get the greatest cross section of the best candidates out there who might be looking forward might not have had an opportunity to even know that this position was available. After that, I would say probably, in January, we go full force at the testing process and trying to get that position filled. Try to get them up to speed with what our department is looking for, and get a sense of the town if they're not already a part of it, and we'll go from there. But that's probably the only other specific thing that I don't think I mentioned in the report.
Okay, yeah, that will be important for the spring, the scheduling,
Very much so.
that's for sure. Okay, if nothing else, we have the park ranger report, which he submitted. Any questions on that for Dimitri? No? Quiet night? I did notice that there were 239 parking violations. That's,
A bunch.
yeah, that's a lot for a month. Seems
People
like a
want to go
lot
out.
to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are all those fines where people are paying, or some of those warnings?
I don't know what and how he breaks them apart. The greater majority of them, I'm sure, are warnings, because that's how we've addressed the majority of those any of those violations all year long. We always go in with a warning first, wherever possible, especially at Twin Brooks. Twin Brooks is really the area of greatest activity. It's a very popular park, especially for passive recreation. And also we get a lot of calls. I see a lot of cars down there without stickers. And it's like, okay.
Hey, at least
Off
At
we
least
go.
they're doing their job. If they had 239 either warnings or actual fines, at least they're doing what they're supposed to do.
No, they do. I am really, really happy with the staff, the ranger staff, by and large. I think they've really shouldered up to a lot of challenges this year, and done very well. They've been asked to do a lot in an ever-changing environment, where from one day to the next, the entire structure of rules can flip on itself. And we've made our mistakes, to be sure, but they get back out on there and get it right as soon as they can. So I'm very proud of them, and I think they've done a yeoman's job all year.
Good to hear. Okay, if there's nothing else, does anyone have anything else to bring up for the commission? No? This may set a record, but does anybody want a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Nancy, anyone second? Who's gonna-
Second.
Everybody seconds that, yeah. Okay. All right, all in favor, give me a wave. All right, good night. Happy
Okay.
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah, happy
Take
holidays,
care.
everyone.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Take care.